Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today. As always, smash that like button now. Smash it and subscribe. Today's topic is going to be purpose. Are you living on purpose, or are you just living? Do you go to work to buy bread so you can eat bread and have enough strength to go to work tomorrow to buy bread again? That's what most people do. They have no purpose in their lives. They're just existing. Yes, but some people, they do have purpose. I'm wrong. They have, thank God it's Friday. They're living for the weekend. Oh, and let's not forget about Hump Day, Wednesday. And then Monday. Most people die of heart attacks on Monday morning going to work because they're miserable in what they're doing. They're just existing. Most people just exist. They have no goals, they have no vision, they have no purpose. Without vision, people perish. They may not die physically, but they die inside. Most people die before they ever reach the grave, before they are ever buried. They're buried in depression, apathy, delusion, discouragement, disheartenment. They suffer. They lead lives of quiet desperation, as Thoreau said. And they do. So does your life have purpose? You can have purpose, but you have to decide why you are here. A reason to live. I heard a story once about a woman who had cancer, and I think her son or daughter was around 3 or 4 years old. And they told her she was only going to live maybe 6 months to a year. But she wanted to see her son graduate from high school. Well, long story short, she lived to see her son graduate from high school through many operations, many doctors' diagnoses that she wasn't going to live another 6 months, another year, through cancer therapy, chemotherapy, etc. It was rough, but she made it because she had a reason, a purpose to survive. People without a purpose just drift along. They have no goals, they have no vision. Maybe they have a purpose of, I'm going to make it through the day. I'm going to make it to the weekend. I'm going to make it till I retire. I'm going to make it till the kids get out of school. I'm going to make it until this divorce is final. I'm going to make it until ad infinitum. But no real purpose, no real goal, no real reason to live, but just to get through another day, to make it to a time off in the future when they think things are going to be better. But if you have a purpose, a vision, a goal, then you learn to enjoy the moment, the journey. The destination is not the fulfilling part, although it's exciting to reach your goals. But you find when you reach that goal, you have to set another. The fulfillment for a man comes from pursuing, from the adventure, from the risks of trying to achieve his vision, his purpose. And make it a vision or a purpose that seems unreachable. Something that you're just not sure you could ever actually achieve, but you think it might be possible. It has to be something that stretches you and expands you and sometimes discourages you and sometimes looks like you're never going to get there. But if you have the vision, it pulls you through these times. People get depressed because they have no purpose. They have no vision. They're listless. I heard a story the other day about when they were bombing Great Britain. Some of those people talked about that being the most wonderful time of their life, where they felt connected and they felt alive. The same as soldiers in Vietnam, when they were in country. They felt like they were the most alive at that time, when they could have been killed. When you live in a country such as mine, where people are so comfortable, they're killing themselves with food, drugs, alcohol. It's because they have no vision, they have no purpose. They're too comfortable, and thus we have a lot of depression here in the U.S. I've suffered from depression myself at times. It's because I wasn't focused on a purpose, a vision, something larger than myself. My purpose is to enlighten, to inspire, and to build up people, to encourage people to reach their purpose, to reach down within inside themselves and become all that they can be. Because until you try to achieve that, until you push along that, until you trudge that happy road of destiny, until you strive for that, you will never find fulfillment as a man. Not sure about women. I'm not a woman. But it may be similar. But I know for men, that's where your fulfillment comes from. It doesn't come from reaching the destination. It comes from the adventure, the risks, the wondering, the striving for, the getting back up when you've been knocked down, the getting off your ass when you don't want to, when you feel like just sitting there in apathy and feeling sorry for yourself and wallowing in your self-pity because things aren't going right. But you get up, you press on, you don't give up. And you can only do that if you have a vision that is bigger than yourself, something, a worthy goal or ideal. I quote this all the time, Earl Nightingale, the father of motivation. Success is the realization, the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. The successive, progressive realization. Okay, it's the getting to, it's progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. It doesn't say when you get there, it's the realization, moving in the direction of that success. That is success. Reaching the goal, reaching for the goal, moving in the direction is the definition of success. Not when you get there. You're not successful when you get that $1 million, when you get that big home, when you get that job. It's this progressive realization of that worthy goal or ideal. That is his definition of success. And I like that because I felt more fulfilled, not when I reach the destination, but when I am striving for it, when I am learning, when I am expanding, when I'm stretching, when I'm doing things that are uncomfortable, things I have not done before, things that are new to me, things that I'm learning, things that are difficult. Something about us humans is we have to strive for a goal. We get some satisfaction or fulfillment out of struggle, out of striving. Not just reaching the goal, but striving for it. And better be something that is good for you and others around you. It's not about you winning, you getting the goal. It's about what you can contribute to life. That's another key in success and in fulfillment for a man, is it has to be something that inspires and lifts you up as well as other people, that you benefit from, but as well as other people benefit from. As Zig Ziglar says, you can have everything you want in your life if you just help enough other people get what they want. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about service to humanity. Well, that's kind of a rhyme there, huh? Service to humanity. Service equals fulfillment for a man. Look around you. Some of the greatest successes, maybe some of the guys or men you admire, have provided the greatest services for other people, for a lot of people. What kind of service are you providing? Do you go to work and get there right at 8 o'clock, if that's your starting time, and leave right at 4? Are you waiting for the clock to get out of there? Or do you do a little bit more? Do you get there a little earlier and leave a little later? Oh, and you say, oh, Mark, what would make no difference if I did? My boss would never notice, or I've done that. Nobody notices. Yeah, if you get there right on time, but get there early. Get there and stay later. And they may still not notice, but the big boss, the universe, nature, world, divinity, whatever you want to call it, it notices. You cannot put more value out into life than you get back. And it comes back multiplied. If you give value, if you give and give without expectation from the person, place, situation, institution you're giving to, it has to come back to you. It's a universal law such as gravity. Jump off a building, you're going to hit the ground. Even if you have a parachute, you're going to hit the ground eventually. You cannot defy these natural laws, but you can work with them. It was a natural law that man couldn't fly, but he learned to work with these laws, and he learned how to fly. The Wright brothers. The newspapers were afraid to print the first account of flight at Kitty Hawk because the greatest scientific minds of all time had proved man could never fly. It was a privilege reserved for the birds. But now we fly around the world and we don't think anything of it. It was also scientifically proven that man could not run faster by the greatest medical professionals in the world, that man could not run faster than 4 minutes per mile because his heart would explode and he would die or have a heart attack. Now we have high school kids running faster than 4 minutes. After Roger Bannister broke that record, in the same year, I think 2 other men did the same thing. What record did he break? He didn't break a physical record as much as he broke a mental barrier. Now many people have broken the 4-minute mile. Like I said, even high school kids. The barrier was in the mind. The limitation was in the mind of man. And that's where all your limitations are, in your mind. And you can change your mind. You have the power to change your mind. You have a certain characteristic. You have certain personality. The word personality comes from the Greek word persona. When they had the theater, the actors would wear a certain mask, which would, denote, which would show you the character they were playing. Okay, you too can change your persona, your personality, your character. You're just wearing a mask now. Let's say you work at McDonald's. You're a McDonald's worker. You're a student. You're a son. You're a father. You're a mother. Whatever it happens to be. These are characteristics. These are personalities you put on. You can change that. If you want to be different, I don't like to say better because that connotates like you're not good enough. You are good enough, but you can change that. If you're a poor person, you can become a rich person. If you're an angry person, you can become a more patient and tolerant person. These are characteristics and personalities you have put on. You change. I've been many things in my life. I've been a child. I've been a father. I've been a son. I've been a husband. I've been a painter. I've been a school teacher. I've been a triathlete. I've been an amateur boxer. I've been a professional boxer. These are all just characters we step into. Okay, now I'm a YouTuber. I stepped into the character. What did I know about it when I started? Nothing. I didn't know what a hashtag was. I didn't know what a thumbnail was. I didn't know anything about it, but I've stepped into this. These are just masks we put on. It's not the real essence of who we are. Who we are is a great power. And who you are is always greater than your present conception or persona of yourself. You're always greater than the perception you have of yourself now, the character you're expressing. You're always greater than what you're expressing now. And you can always step into something greater, into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of whatever you decide to be, or lower levels. You can become debase, and sink down to a lower level of consciousness, or a lower level or lower status of persona, if you like. So it's always up to you. You have the power to change yourself. And when you change yourself, your outer world automatically, amazingly responds and corresponds to who you are inside. Your outer world is just a reflection of what goes on in here. I was talking to a gentleman today. If people are disrespecting you, why aren't you respecting yourself? How are you not respecting yourself? These people are just showing you and telling you that you are not respecting yourself. Respect yourself, and these people will respect you, or they'll disappear out of your lives, out of your life. That's just the way it works. It's almost like magic, but it's not magic. These are universal, metaphysical, spiritual laws, if you like. You don't have to know how they work, no more than you know how gravity works or electricity. Or you see the wind? No, but you see the effects of the wind. You don't have to understand them to use them, but you must cooperate with them. And most people don't cooperate with them. It's amazing how many people talk about what goes around comes around, karma, you reap what you sow, but yet pay little heed to it and lie to their neighbor, or maybe they steal, or maybe they swindle them on a deal. But you cannot lie to anyone. You're lying to yourself. You cannot steal from anyone. You're stealing from yourself. You cannot swindle anyone. You only swindle yourself. But the deal is, the effects in the world of material do not happen immediately. But it does immediately happen in here. But it takes time for it to manifest, for it to come into your life. And when it does, most people think, well, that SOB, he ripped me off. They don't stop to look and say, where have I done something similar like this to someone else in my past? You have to get rid of the word blame and look at yourself and ask yourself, what is the outside world representing to me? What is it in me that is bringing this into my life? Or what is this trying to show me? You have to do inventory. Look within yourself. You cannot change the outer world directly, but when you change your thinking and you change the within, the outside world will correspond to that. If you don't believe me, try it. Change the way you think, change your life. Marcus Aurelius said, a man's life is what his thoughts make of it. That may not be verbatim, but you get the message. All right, that's all I got time for today. It's getting dark here. If you'd like to get my help personally, my website is marksinspiration.com. Share this with a friend if you think it would be of value to them. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.